Good morning. Hand today is going to be Queen 3 offsuit. We are in early position. Under the gun player raises. Folds around to the big blind. Who calls? So this player's playing 32-21. Looks pretty loose. Looks to be pretty loose aggressive. 20% in early position. 21% raise first in. Stat 27. So he's definitely playing position. He's aware of position. Um, doesn't necessarily mean he's a really good player. He's up right now, but he is playing a lot of hands. So we have some notes on him. We've got 3 bets, 3-bet ranges, and we've seen 2 showdowns with him where he raised first in small blind with Jack 9 off, and then we also have a call from small blind with pocket 9s. So I put together a range that looks something like this. Definitely stronger, like more Broadway hands. Sliding the scale, you get more of like suited connectors, suited one gappers coming in before the offsuit Broadways. I think I'm gonna actually add the Broadways, have all the Broadways, because I think a player like this is targeting high cards, more high cards and less like speculative hands. Now that's just my opinion, and that's why we're working through the hands. I did leave off the low pocket pairs because he was under the gun. We don't have many hands at all on the big blind. He's played 8. We can take a look at his notes, and I think we're gonna see his hand here. So just kind of like a standard calling range for the big blind looks something like this. I think pocket pairs usually is what they call. Suited aces will call, like suited broadways, and then maybe some of these other offsuit Broadway hands. I don't think typically players are going to be calling a whole lot against an early position raise, but they do if they can. So we're going with this range 13%. We're going to see how it works. All right, so we see a flop of Queen Jack 6. We did say, should say, I expect villain to 3-bet with queens plus ace king. Queens could actually be a call potentially. They're not always raised, but I think it's just kind of a standard 3-bet range. All right, so that board kind of hits. I think if it gets checked, this guy's probably going to be betting. He's heavy on Broadway. He's going to connect in a lot of ways on this board. So villain checks, no big surprise, and he bets. He takes a bet of about 2/3 pot here. What's he betting with? Definitely, I'm going to say top pair plus. We can look at c-bet stats. C-bet in position 72%, out of positions 52%. So he's in position. I do expect him to be c-betting most of the time on this board. We'll give him the open ender. We'll give him the gut shot. I think we'll give him the overcards because that'll be ace king as well. Possibly middle pair. Kind of middle pair kind of fits. When you see that jack, his kicker is going to give him a lot of different ways to connect with like backdoor draws. So probably middle pair. I think it's these lower pocket pair. That's the question. Is he going to be betting these or not? It brings him up to 82. Maybe. I could see him bet if he's planning to c-bet because this is a pretty good board. And I do think you're going to probably need to do that. Need to include those as part of your draws. So something like that. I think that's probably what I'm thinking he's going to be betting. So I'll say that's a c-bet range. And then villain calls. So I kind of think sets in 2 pairs should be check raising here. We are going to scale this. We'll say 66% of the time they'll just call. And then if it happens again, so if he checks the turn and then you get a bet and a call, I think at that point sets and two pairs probably would have been check raising. If they didn't check raise a flop, they're check raising the turn. We'll give him top pair as a call. Maybe middle pair. I can't see him calling with anything less than that. I think you're going to get the open ender and the gut shot as well. So I think this guy is starting to have a stronger range once he calls. So now, if he bet 80 some percent, I think we're going to start seeing some more checks on the turn. Three of clubs comes out, so villain 3 checks. I assume that that's what's going to happen, and sure enough, he checks behind. So at this point, we can eliminate. I think set 2 pair or set 2 pair are all going to be betting. I assume open ender's going to be betting. I think the overpair, sometimes they're going to be bet, sometimes they're not. No, we're gonna say I think overpair is gonna bet. I think top pair, top kickers are gonna bet too, and then king queen possibly as well are gonna be betting. I think queen 10, queen 9 is gonna be probably exactly what we see a check, and we're gonna X out the open ender because I think he would have continued betting that. Gut shot on the other hand, probably not. He's probably just going to be checking behind. So with that check, his hand really became quite a bit weaker. Is that an appropriate check? Yeah, probably. If he's betting 82%, I don't think you're looking at firing the turn at that frequency. So he was 82% now. Then you're gonna probably cut it back to maybe 50 or 40%. I think we've got 40% worked out here. So in any case, we went check check, and now we have the river of a 9. Hard at villain 3 bets. He chose not to, so I am eliminating the straight. And I think I'm going to eliminate the set and 2 pair. I think he probably would be betting those. I think top pairs probably betting like at least ace queen. We'll leave king queen queen 10 in his range, so we are looking at a range that looks something like that for him. Villain 4 checks behind. Not too surprised. Again, I'm going to take out sets 2 pair. I think those are probably going to be betting to get a little bit of value. I think all the rest of these could be easy check downs to see what he has. So we've got this. Get to showdown, and we see hands. So he has ace jack, he has ace king. Is ace king here? Yep, ace high, we had it. We kind of included that as a c bet, and then he kind of gave up. He could have easily continued betting on that turn. Would be hard for jack to call. Ace jack probably would call. So you get the middle pair. I think ace jack probably would call. So we got both hands. I'm going to just take some quick notes here so we have it. I think we will do this. We'll put this at top. RFI, and I can't remember how much you did. 3. Okay, so RFI, 3 big blinds. Under the gun with ace of spades, king of hearts. He is in position. He bet 66%. Check, check on a queen of hearts, jack of spades, 6 diamonds, 3 clubs, 9 spades. So I thought that worked pretty good. And this guy calls. See, we had it. Called 2 bets from Lon's range, ace jack. So he called under the gun, 3 big blind RFI in big blind with ace of hearts, jack of diamonds. He is out of position. Check call. 66%. Check check. All right, so we've got it. All right, let's run some GTO. See what we look like. So out of position. I do like this range. I think we're going to use that. And then this guy's range, it's still questionable. I think it's okay. And we've got a queen, jack, and 6. Starting pot 6.5. Effective stacks, we'll say 100. They didn't do it. We're gonna scale this. Custom settings for a flop. 66%. And then we're gonna do 50%. Okay. And we'll leave that at 50%. Okay, so let's just check that. He checks. That's 4.3. That looks good. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll run solver and we'll be back. All right, finished up pretty fast, not too long. Only about 2 minutes or so. So we check under the gun, or actually the blind. Axe first, checking 99% of the time. No big surprise, we knew that. And then here, villains betting 44%. So I kind of think I was off in terms of percentages when we were looking, and I'll show this because I kind of thought about it as we were adding in values. You could see basically all of the value hands. We've got a little bit more value than draws. And we don't really want that. We want about 2 draws to every 1 value, or 2 bluffs to every 1 value. So just this here, if we're going to say these are our bluffing hands along with those pairs, then we're going to have to really reduce the number of value hands that we have. So the question is, what can we afford to check behind? I think some of these could be Queen Jack. I think some of this could be 2 pair. I kind of feel like these 2 hands though are too strong. I think you could probably check some of the kings and aces. So you check those. We've reduced our pair. You know, if we do top pair, that drastically drops it. Middle pair, I think, drops it too much. So I think top pair, like you can bet like ace. Maybe like queen 10 or so, queen 9. So yeah, maybe queen 9, queen 10. He could bet. Yeah, maybe king queen kind of adds it up. That's getting us closer to about 2 to 1, and it puts us at a C bet of about 54%. I think that's probably more in line percentage wise with what GTO is saying. We can look exactly at what he's betting. So he's betting the overpair, 2 pair, and trips. Those are our bets, and then the top pair, it looks like ace queen, and all the rest are checks. So we're looking at something like this. Let's go top pair, over pair, 2 pair sets. There's that. That's 18. That's 36. That's looking actually pretty good. And then our draws, what are we doing? Open enders, gut shots are going up there. You overcards because they have the gut shots. You see some of the ace high hands. So ace 2, ace 4, those are different. And I think he's using those over the weak pair. So you've got a 5. I think that's fine. I think 7, 8, 9, 10. You've got blockers here for the straights. So whereas I had like these, you could potentially throw those in. He's saying you're looking at like pocket pair below the board, something like that. And then throw in like your ace 2, ace 3, ace 4. So he bet. And if you bet smaller, you can bet a wider range, you know, higher frequency. But we said villain bet, and then guy called. So ace jack's a call. Nothing wrong with this. I've got no problem with his call. I think it's what I would do. Because again, he's betting. This guy's betting with some draws, so we have to defend against that. All right, so we get to the turn. Villain checks again, or blind checks again. No big surprise. And then villain's betting. So initially I said we were betting, or the ranges were like 80 something, and then it was, he was betting only like 40%. That was, you're betting too much, and then you have to scale it back. This case, we weren't really betting a whole lot. We're betting stronger hands, and that's going to allow us to continue betting more frequently on the turn. That's just kind of how that works. So you can see that we're still betting our top pair plus. We're basically still betting our draws, still betting some of these value hands. We do have some checks, like the ace 2, ace 3, ace 4, ace 5. We're not really, we used them as a bluff and we missed, so we're not going to continue with them. Your 8-7, really doesn't have any sort of draw. Ace King should still be a bet, so I do think he should have bet. Bet supported by GTO. So let's see, he checks, and then we get the 9 of spades out here, and here blind should be betting straights. I kind of assume that. Sets and 2 pair, I think most players would, I think a lot of players would probably bet in that case. Some of them might check. I mean, it is, you've got 3 to a straight on the board, so I could understand going for a little bit of value, but you're going with your straight, and then you're going for missed hands. So we knew what he had. Ace Jack, that's his call. He played that fine. And then villain, under the gun players should still be betting straights. Now the small amount of 2 pair and over pair that he has, that he got there with the checking, if he happened to get there with the check, he could bet those. But for the most part, you can see he's got ace high, and it's going to be a check. So overall, when we think about how do these players play, I think they played okay. The range that I assigned him on the flop might have been too much, too big, but this is one hand. I mean, the ace king fit with his c bet. That was good. It's just how does he play with some of the other hands, and some of those other hands, those draws, you're usually not going to see what he shows down, because as soon as he checks the turn, then a decent play would be for villain, or an exploitative play for villain would be for him to lead the river, and that's an opportunity. So instead of taking the showdown with the jack, he could have bet, and chances are villain 4 folds. Now, do I advocate villain 3 betting here? Not really, not with the jack. But if he had something else, if he had a lower pair, or even maybe a draw that missed, yeah, go for the bet. Go for the bet. Try to get a fold, take it down. So yeah, overall, I think both hands were played okay. We worked through another hand, improved our hand rating ability. So let's move on. If you like this hand, look again tomorrow. I'll be doing another one.